So hey guys, this is Team Overclocked bringing you guys an $1,100 gaming PC build for the months of July and August 2016. In terms of benchmarks, this maxes out every game at 1080p 60 FPS and it can play all games at 1440p as well. So let's get on with the build. For the CPU, I chose the Intel Core i5 6600K for $238. This is a quad-core chip, which is really important since a lot of games really utilize all of those cores. It's also clocked at 3.5 GHz and it's overclockable, and you can usually get at least 4 GHz on this CPU. It's also based on Skylake, so you know you're getting the best architecture from Intel. For the CPU cooler, I chose a Cryorig H5 Ultimate for $47. Now this is a massive cooler and is really good for overclocking. The reason I chose an aftermarket cooler is because this is going to be really good for overclocking, and the i5 6600K does not include a stock cooler, so you need to buy an aftermarket one. Now for the motherboard, I chose the ASRock Z170 Pro 4S for $110. This is an ATX motherboard with 4 RAM slots, USB 3.0 headers, and 6 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports. It also has the Z170 chipset, which is really important in this build because it allows CPU overclocking. For the RAM, I chose the PNY Anarchy 16GB set for $64. This is a 2x4GB set clocked at 2400 MHz. The reason I chose 8GB over 16GB is because it really helps future-proof this build, and it also helps remove a possible bottleneck. And 16GB is the perfect amount for editing, and it's going to be more than enough for gaming. For the hard drive, I chose a Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB for $48. Now this spins at 7200 RPM, so it's like most consumer level hard drives. It's going to be the mass storage for this PC, so you're going to store all of your games and media files on here. Now I also chose an SSD in this build, and the SSD is a ADATA Premier SP550 for $55. Now an SSD is faster and more reliable than a hard drive. It's also good for your OS and your other important files because it's also really reliable. And if you store your OS on here, it's going to make your boot times much faster. For the GPU, I chose the Gigabyte GTX 1070 8G for $430. Now this GPU is clocked at 1.59 GHz, it has 8GB of RAM and 150 watt TDP. It's also based on the new Pascal architecture, so it really is power efficient. And the Gigabyte version of this card sports the triple fan cooler, making it great for overclocking. For the case, I chose the NZXT S340 for $63. Now this case has side windows, cable management options, a PSU shroud, lots of fan mounts, and water cooling options, making it a really great all-around case for the price. It's available in white, black, blue and black, green and black, and red and black. The color I chose for this build is black. For the power supply, I chose the EVGA 600B ATX power supply for $46. Now 600 watts is more than enough for the GTX 1070, and it allows for some upgrades if you want to upgrade to a 1080 or even a 1080 Ti in the future. It's also 80 plus bronze certified, reliable, and it has really good capacitors, so all around it's a really good power supply for the price. So that's all for today. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.